What is going on? My name is Cameron, and I will be the host of tonight's episode 7 of Unsolicited Takes, the takes you didn't ask for. I'm here with Keegan
What's up?
and Julian.
How's it going?
And today, we thought we would come up with some things to do um, in the off season, some things that will keep people entertained, keep us entertained while there's not much news going on. So we're gonna probably open up the show here with a coach power ranking tier list sort of thing. Do you guys have anything NFL on your mind currently that's been going on?
The JSN contract finally dropped, and I understand why Seattle was so willing to let a lot of free agents walk because that contract is enormous. But I think it's totally worth it for JSN.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like over the last week, that's probably been the biggest news, or at least like most noteworthy, has the biggest impact on the league overall. It's not as big of a jump from what I think Jamar's contract as his was to uh, Justin Jefferson's was the year prior. But it's still like a pretty big jump, and it's just kind of increasing the wide receiver market. So it's pretty interesting to see that kind of creep up over time. But I think he definitely earned it. It's kind of crazy that he really only had like the wide receiver one role for this season before they gave him that contract. But I mean, what else are you gonna do? You don't want to like tag him and then risk like him trying to walk or requesting a trade. So definitely had to be done.
Gonna be in Seattle
Yeah,
for 6 years, 6 more years.
yeah, he might end up being a lifer there, the way it's going for him.
I
But
could see.
also had Levante David retire,
Oh yeah,
long time Buccaneer.
one of the
Crazy part
Bucks
about him
goats.
is he wore the retro uniforms, then they switched to the alarm clock ones, and then he was still there for when they switched back to his rookie year uniforms. It's a pretty good career. Even the Saints shouted him out on Twitter. They said, "Happy retirement."
I mean, kind of have to. He's a probably one of the legends of our era, if I were to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely of that division.
He's had a quiet couple
Um,
of like last couple of years, but I mean, yeah, definitely a legend for his era and everything. Cool to see him stick around for a little while longer, but definitely deserves the retirement.
and then also, I don't know how much you guys have heard about it, but there was some talk going around about like if a work stoppage stopped, or I mean happened, like by
For
the
the
referees.
referees,
Yeah, and like the upcoming years, they're like discussing rule changes that would need to happen, I guess, to deal with that shortage. I'm and like the MLB, there's been a lot of discourse with like the more robotic, like refereeing and like use of cameras and stuff to like officiate. And I feel like it would probably be the same reaction in the NFL if it were to happen. But I mean, I don't know. It is a different game. There is like a lot more in the NFL that I think could be determined by cameras and stuff like that. But what impact do you guys think that could have?
I mean, it's only going to go into effect if the referees do a holdout or something because of their situation. But I mean, I kind of like the. I kind of like how they're trying to get as much information as possible to make sure that whatever the actual outcome is on the field is like whatever is called. But I don't know, man. Sometimes you just gotta let it play. Let it play out. Whatever happens, happens. It's just how sports used to be, you know?
Yeah, I feel like in particular over the last decade or so, there's just been an increase, and maybe it was like this before, but it just feels like more recently there's been a really large increase in terms of like really questionable calls made by refs and everything. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to not want there to be more like digital involvement just so that we can get more accurate, readings on game-changing plays and things like that. But I mean, there's just so much going on a football field, all the time. If a holding by an offensive lineman doesn't get called, then you know, that plays to the benefit of one team or the other. And holding happens on pretty much every single play in an NFL game. It's just that, the refs don't either always see it or don't call it to just because, I don't know, it's to like some degree that are worse than others. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to kind of see what they negotiate is going to be like their involvement going forward.
Yeah. And then one more, or I have two more like things that happened recently. One of which is the Team USA versus the NFL guys flag football classic that Tom Brady was just dying to put on. And Team USA smoked our guys. And I mean, it was now everybody's acting like it was obvious, like, oh yeah, the NFL guys don't know how to move like that, and oh, they don't know how to like work the rules of flag football like they do. But it's like, I mean, a couple months ago they were saying, oh, no matter what, like the NFL players are going to dominate. Like it's football, they know how to play football. That's why they're in the NFL. But then we just saw what we saw, and really the only like takeaway from it for the NFL guys is that Odell might make the team, and everybody else is screwed. They're not gonna make it.
Yeah, I was kind of going into the flag football thing for the Olympics as like, why wouldn't all the NFL guys kind of be the team for it? But after watching that, man, I think you just got to let the USA flag football team cook. Like the the Burrow interception, the pick six that he had was pretty bad. Um, and then, like you were saying, the way that these guys just like move is so different to like a normal game of football. So, like hindsight is always 2020. So it should have been obvious that the USA flag football team was going to be better at flag football. I just didn't think it would be like this big of a discrepancy.
I mean, there's just been like a lot of like, uh, not like severe trash talking, but I mean, there's been like a little bit of chirping back and forth, like especially from like the Team USA guys, like in terms of like, I guess feeling disrespected that they was assumed that the NFL guys would take their spots. And don't get me wrong, I mean, they showed that they definitely like, earned their spot and they know how the game works. However, um, I think given more time, a lot of the guys, in the NFL, when actually applying themselves to like learning the ins and outs of like flag football, probably do have the potential to play the game better. I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of my take on it. I think that they're in the NFL for a reason. They're better. Like I saw people on Twitter saying that like just because I show speed, like spin moved like some of the NFL guys, and went off for a touchdown that he could play in the NFL. And it's like no, he literally is like 5'8", 150. He could not play in the NFL. So. I mean, I think that it's just kind of like it's different, but I think, the more athletically inclined guys are going to be the guys in the NFL and probably make the transition
Yeah.
easier than the other guys to the NFL.
If you put that due set guy in some pads, man, and put him in at quarterback, he's got Miles Garrett coming in at him. He's probably done after that sack. So there definitely is like a difference in it. That's why I feel like it wasn't really embarrassing for the NFL guys, because it's like, I mean, these guys don't practice what the other guys are playing. Like they're playing a whole different sport. And then last like recent piece of news was the Chiefs giving Kelsey a 3-year extension. 36-year-old Travis Kelsey a 3-year extension for quite a bit of money. But I think they like structured it kind of weird. So I mean, they're not like locked into paying him until he's 39, but they take care of their guy. He's coming back. He was good for a long time. It's kind of fallen off. You guys think Kelsey has any gas in the tank?
I mean, I think he's just gonna kind of play out this year, kind of how we saw him last year. Not be that big of an impact for the Chiefs, but if I had to put money on it, this is probably Kelsey's last season.
I think to answer your question, no, I don't think he has the gas left in the tank. Like, I don't think he's going to be bad, but I don't think that he's going to be like an elite tight end. Um, I just don't think if I were him, I would have just retired after this past season. Like, I know it was a bad season to go out on, but at the end of the day, like, you had like a pretty great career, so there's not really any point to like, I don't know, having another bad season, which it kind of looks pretty likely that the Chiefs are headed in that direction. Now, I could eat my words, they could have, like a 10-7 year, end up making the playoffs, but I don't know, with how everything's gone for them in free agency and the question mark about how long Mahomes is going to be out and potentially them starting Justin Fields for several games at the beginning of the season, like, I don't know. I don't know if it was worth him coming back because even whenever Mahomes was playing and like healthy last year, it just didn't feel like Kelsey really cared to be out on the field. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's probably mostly done. I think it can still be like a little security blanket for even Fields, but I mean, I think it'll be a struggle for him to hit 1,000. The other thing is, whenever he was having those peak seasons, it was really like Tyreek deep threat, Kelsey, everything else intermediate.
No.
And now it's like you have Rishi Rice, you have Xavier Worthy, probably gonna get another guy. You don't really need like Kelsey to dominate anymore. Um, Last thing, I swear this is the last thing actually this time. Um, and not speaking about Puka, everything is alleged in that situation, so we wouldn't entertain anything like that here on this show. But Ty Simpson, have you guys been hearing this Ty Simpson recent hype?
It's
A
all
lot of
the Dan
people.
Orlovsky stuff.
It's not even just him though. Like there's some people just like he's like almost like a first. He's getting to be like a first round lock type of heat going on there. I
I
don't really know
definitely
what it's from too much, but
I can see someone trading up at the end of the draft to take him, or at the end of the first round to take him. Be
I
able to get him on
think,
that 5th year option.
yeah, I mean, I think quarterback is always going to be valued differently than like any other position in the draft. We saw Michael Penix legitimately go top 10 just 2 years ago. Same with JJ McCarthy for that matter, except he went 12, right? He didn't go in top 10.
It was around there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, quarterback is just viewed differently than any other position when it comes to the draft, especially in recent years. And uh, I could see very easily somebody trading up for him. I mean, it all depends on kind of team need, what they think that they can get out of him, how teams think that they can value him in terms of quarterback. I mean, you don't look at next year's draft when you're, recruiting or scouting staff or head coach or GM of an NFL franchise. You're looking at, your team this year. You're drafting for, the future of your team currently. And I mean, if a team values him high enough, then I mean, they're going to take him. So,
But saying he's quarterback one over Fernando is absolutely faded by Orlovsky.
yeah, that's actually insane.
that was definitely Orlovsky propaganda being pushed there. And he is like he's defended a lot of Texan things, so I got to give him some slack, but he is usually wrong. So it's also who's the other one? Sims, who does like the like position rankings. He is usually also pretty incorrect. I think he had like Joey Aguilar in his top 5, And it's like at a certain point you're just trying to be different, and that's just not, there's no integrity behind that, you know.
It's a
Speaking of
really
integrity,
sparse draft, so we'll see.
yeah, I think next year is more of like the star-studded draft, and this year is like there's a lot of good like role players, like even down to like a guy like Omar Cooper, who is like probably going to be a first-round pick and will be like somebody's who's they're viewing as a star is probably just going to end up being like a really good role player, but like this draft class is just like full of guys like that. But speaking of integrity, that is what a lot of NFL coaches try to instill into their team. And we are going to be ranking by tier all 32 coaches as of the offseason in different tiers. Elite, pretty obvious there. Good, mid, bad. And then to be decided is mostly reserved for first time coaches or coaches we just don't really know what they're going to do in their situation. And we're probably just going to go, I'm guessing, based on the order that they're already in here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if we're starting with Aaron Glenn, Jets head coach, he's had 1 year with the Jets. I have an idea. Well, what do you guys think here?
Didn't have a great season for his first season. Pretty bad.
It's hard to know what involvement he has as far as like moves made in free agency and in the draft and everything and trades that were made this year because the team as a whole did very, very poorly throughout the season, but the Jets so far towards the second half of the season and in free agency have made really good moves in my opinion. Um, Especially on like the defensive side of the ball. So it's just hard to know because he hasn't been there long enough for me to know how much involvement he really has, like in the team's sort of moves like that. So I don't know. I'm almost inclined to put him in like TBD.
I'm going
I'm
bad, man.
I was gonna also go bad because he also, whenever he was first hired as the Jets coach and he brought all of his, coordinators, assistant coaches, and everything to the Jets, this offseason turned around and fired all of them. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
what, like, do you not know what kind of staff you want to build? Are you just trying to, why are you basically flipping your entire staff going into your second season? Like,
And also, it's like I feel like with the Lions, his appeal, like obviously him and Ben Johnson got hired because they were like a really good all-around team. But you look at the defense, and they just like had good players. Like, I mean, I'm not saying Aaron Glenn didn't like coach them up at all, but I'm saying like you have Hutchinson, you get Campbell, you get Brian Branch, you get Terry and Arnold. Like at a certain point, the coaching doesn't have to be super great when you have that many like top pick defenders, top like player at their position in the draft. So like I mean, of course it was going to be a good defense, especially when the offense is good too. But then he gets to the Jets, gets rid of his two best defenders who are better at their position than anybody else you're going to be able to replace them with. And that's like your identity is you're the defensive guy and you didn't want to keep two of like probably the top like 15 defenders in the league on your defense. Like it kind of just shows and then you fire your staff and then you get rid of Justin Fields, bring in Geno, which it's like is Geno a bridge or is he to tank for the number 1 pick next year? Like what I really don't know what this guy is cooking.
see, and he could be trying to tank, but if he does what he did again this season, like he did last season, I don't know if he's going to have a job. So it's
That's what
like,
I'm saying though. Like I feel like the whole like you can I don't know. Like you can't hold against him the moves that the team is making because those are just the moves that the Jets franchise has been making for the last 20 years. Like the whole, trading Fields and then just signing Geno, like that's horrible, but like how much
But
of
you're
that is
you're
him?
you're praising like the moves they made in for the defense this offseason so far. So you can't say that like he's done good on that, but then also
No,
say
no, no,
you're gonna
no.
judge him for the bad stuff.
Right,
All
no,
I
no, no.
can judge
And
is that he got 3 wins and the team has no direction under him going into his second year.
no, and I'm cool, to be clear, I'm cool with putting him in bad because, like, as a head coach last season, he did a bad job. But simultaneously, I'm also not saying that, the defense is, potentially good because he had his involvement in it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the Jets have had a lot of good moves for in free agency, but they've also made a lot of questionable moves on offense. I don't know if he's involved in that at all, so I don't know that we can attribute that to him. So I'm cool
Yeah.
with putting him in bad.
I'd say he's bad with potential to be mid.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Next up, we got
Yeah.
Andy Reid.
I
I
mean, come on.
think, yeah, I think even though he did have a down year this past season, I don't think you can entirely put all of that on Reid. But I think he's still one of the elite coaches that we have.
Yeah, go elite.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, I
you
think you
look
only can put
stupid
him in a
putting him
lead.
in good.
Yeah. At that point, we would just be putting him in good to like look different or have like an interesting take. But I mean, you can't put him anywhere else but elite.
Now
Yeah,
here's a
there's not much
guy.
to talk about there, man. Yeah, he's Andy Reid. Yeah, here's a guy that we might have to get decisive about early.
I want to
See,
know
like,
what y'all think about him because I have an opinion.
I have an opinion. I want to know what Cam has to think first.
I think, I mean, if we're going off face reactions, if we're judging, like, they've only coached 1 season, him and Aaron Glenn, but I mean, we just straight up put Aaron Glenn in the worst tier. We decided to not put him in the to be decided. And if we're going with the same logic, Ben Johnson might be elite.
That is my
Judging
opinion.
based off just the Bears like recent like long recent history of failure and mediocrity and coming short and no identity, and Ben Johnson just fixed like it's not like it was in the process of being fixed. Ben Johnson fixed it in a year. They already had Caleb Williams. They already did all the things that they thought were like going to be fixing the team. And then Ben Johnson comes in and actually fixes the team in 1 year. Even if the like record wasn't super crazy, they were kind of like trying to figure out who they were at the beginning of the season, but then as it kept going on, I mean, you started seeing the like locker room videos of him shirtless and screaming, and he might be an elite coach, man. I don't know. If I'm the Bears, like if I'm not thinking in my head right now, this guy's gonna be our coach for at least 10 years, then like I would just be lying to myself.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I think that it's very early to tell. He's only had 1 season as a head coach, but I what we saw was very promising. He took one of the worst teams in football historically over the last, 30 years. Um, and I think we can only put him in a lead. He seems to have a very good grasp on the team as a whole.
Next, we got another first time head coach. Got Brian Schottenheimer for the Cowboys. I think this is pretty much as mid gets. Like this past season, Dallas, their offense was number one, their defense was 32nd. That's like as
He's an offensive guy though, right?
I think so.
I
I
would say
don't,
he's probably mid as of right now.
yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say he could be good. If he like keeps churning out some decent seasons, he can be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably agree. Pretty pretty mid right now just for the overall like head. But the thing is with the Cowboys too is like everything is Jerry Jones first, and then you get to decide something after that. So it's like if he's on a different team, judging based on like how he's coached up the offense the last couple seasons, he probably is a good coach. But yeah, right now probably mid.
I would put him in mid because I mean like you said, like best offense in the league rated, worst defense in the league. So I think as a head coach, part of that is being more versatile than just what your strength is. So, if he is an offensive minded head coach, then he needs to show that he can put together a competent defense, which he hasn't necessarily shown yet in his 1 year. So, um, I think for now we just kind of stick him in mid. And not to say that all of a sudden he has to learn how to become a defensive head coach, but he needs to put together a defensive staff that's going to be, competent in what they put together.
Yeah, and that's enough time for the Cowboys. Campbell, he's a guy. Now here's a guy who I think is the best leader of men and the best. They call them like CEO coaches or whatever, where they put the staff together.
Mhm.
He's like what Sirianni fucking wishes he was. All right, and I can't say he's elite, but I think he's good.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of fell off a little bit this offseason, and I do think that has a lot to do with, them losing both of their coordinators. And then halfway through the season, Campbell decides that he's going to take over play calling for offense because it's just not working with the offensive coordinator calling it. So I think he is a good coach. The only thing that is not making me want to put him in elite is like we've seen how good the Lion teams have been that he's coached, and then this past season, whenever he lost his coordinators, they just couldn't keep up. So I like good for him.
Yeah, for all the same reasons, I'm cool with good. I want so badly to put him in elite because the aura is just there, but I think he's got to get at least a couple more like successful seasons under his belt with like, new coaching staff regimes, new players being brought in, and showing that he's like a competent head coach, for the long term.
Now we got Dan Campbell for the Commanders.
I mean,
I mean,
Quinn.
dang, yeah, we just did Campbell,
Oh yeah,
man. That's
Dan
it's an
Quinn,
acceptable
the
blip.
the other Dan.
The ball, Dan. I I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good coach. And
That's
that's all I
where
really have to say.
that's where I would also put him. I liked him, believe it or not, in Atlanta whenever he was their head coach.
I've liked
But
him everywhere he's been.
yeah,
Dallas. He's with Seattle,
yeah, was their
right?
DC for
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, yeah.
I think he's good, good tier.
And I mean, the Commanders were good, but prior to this season, I
I
mean, they
think
had
they just had
Jaden out, and
yeah.
yeah,
I think he just plays a little bit like this past season. A lot of what it was just I think him a little bit worried about his job security, and he, made choices that weren't necessarily in the best interest of the players or the team. But I think overall he's a good head coach, and I think once the team is healthy and with this new unit that they're rolling out, he'll be able to kind of worry less about his job security and focus more on like just coaching the team.
Bro made it to the NFC championship game last year. Folks, you got to worry about job security for.
Because I mean, like once you drop as soon as they did, like beginning of this season, like they started the season not great. So it's like, oh, is the NFC Championship just like a fluke? I could see where since he's been bounced around a couple of times, like that's where you start to be like, oh no, like my team's only got 2 wins right now. Let's throw Jaden Daniels out there before he's fully recovered. The Dayball situation where Dayball's waiting in the tent to see if Dart's going to come back out. It seems to me like it's they're a little bit worried about their job. They need their star player back out on the field, and so they make a dumb play. But I think that his job is fine. He just needs to stop worrying about that because he's a good head coach, and I think with the team healthy, it'll be a better mindset going into next year.
fair.
Now we got Dave Canales up. I think this
This
is
guy
another
is,
mid coach.
yeah, I was about to say he's like a mid to good. I would say he has the potential to be good because I feel like he's coached a lot of guys up. Like even in his short time in Carolina, I feel like he's like coached Bryce up. And I don't know who he's like coaching specifically, obviously, but like Bryce has played better. Tet came in and actually had like a good rookie season, which isn't something you really see for that franchise all that often. Like they're kind of draft a lot of busts. And the defense, like even though they're kind of nuts and bolts, they've looked like a decent unit for most of the year. And I mean they made it to the playoffs with like a below average roster overall. So I would say he could be good, maybe, eventually. He might be good right now, but it's hard to tell.
I think he's mid right now, but trending towards good. Like if he can put together like a 10-win season for Carolina this season, I think he'll be in the good tier.
I mean, he's taking a team that's theoretically, like when you look at the roster, like bottom half of the league, and he got him to the playoffs this year, even if it was in the weakest division. Like, I mean, the team has grown since he's become head coach. So he's mid right now with a lot of potential.
Okay, take it over.
Next up, we got the head coach of the Houston Texans, D'Amico Ryans. Let's go. Clap it up. Clap it up, guys.
No.
All
No.
right. If I'm gonna be humble about my head football coach, I think I would have to say good for now. And my main reasoning is we have been a struggling franchise for a long time. And we've had some decent seasons in the past, mostly 15 years ago. But he has brought like culture and like an energy to the overall team that we've never had before in our history. And he's a motivator of men. Even though he's like a defensive mastermind, he gets the offense motivated. You hear the offensive guys talk about D'Amico, which there's certain times where a lot of like guys will just cling to their coordinator or their position coach, but everybody talks about D'Amico. And I mean, we got the best defense in the league, and that's why we hired him, and that's what he came in and did. I could almost say he's elite. I mean, he flirted with Coach of the Year his first season. He's helped us overachieve every year he's been here so far. So I mean, if Ben Johnson's elite, I think D'Amico is pretty close. But I mean, just given like some of his staffing decisions, he kind of played it safe with Slowick. And then when Slowick started to like get stagnant, he decided to switch it up, which in hindsight is probably the right move considering Kaylee is an overall better coordinator than Slowick, but just like some of that stuff could probably be fixed. And then the guy needs to learn how to use his timeouts a little bit better. But I mean, that's just from being a fan and actually knowing everything he does. From an overall perspective, I'd say he is good to elite.
Yeah, I would say he's elite at what he does, like being a defensive guy, leader of men type beat. But as far as like overall, like building out a staff, clock management, things like you touched on, I think that kind of knocks him down to good. But I think if he can put together like a solid staff, he would be elite, no question.
Yeah. I he's not quite to the elite tier yet. I think if he keeps going with the Texans, getting him into the playoffs, getting him past the first round, you know, even just like an AFC championship game, even if they don't win it, I think that he at that point is really going to kind of push himself into elite because he's just had a lot of success since taking over a team that otherwise had been really unlucky and struggling for, over a decade. And like you said, Cam, I mean, he just brings a lot of identity and culture to the team, brings kind of the team together. Um, and I think if he can prove that, or he's proved that he can draft really well, I think he just maybe needs to kind of prove that he can make the right, staff decisions and make a push into the further into the playoffs.
Yeah. So next two coaches, we got Jeff Halfley. Obviously he hasn't coached a NFL game, so we'll slot him into the TBD. Looking forward to see what he can do with this kind of battle scarred Dolphins team, the
Yeah.
scraps that he has. But I think it'll be interesting to see what he can muster up in his first season.
Yeah, it's either gonna be like 3 wins or 6 wins. Like it's
Yeah,
not gonna be
that's the
anything
range.
crazy. Yeah. But I mean,
Unless
shout out.
we see some crazy ball, but yeah, no, I mean it's looking like it's going to be a 3 to 6 win season.
And then Ravens' new head coach, Jesse Minter. I got to say, I'm not looking forward to the Steelers playing him just because I do think that he's going to bring some, great defenses for that Ravens team. But I mean, I kind of am looking forward to see what he can do if he can translate into being a elite head coach like he was a elite coordinator.
Yeah, I mean I think that this could very easily kind of be like a D'Amico situation where, one of the better defensive coordinator minds that we've seen become a head coach in the last couple of years. I think it's all going to come down to, you know, the if he can put together like a competent offensive staff to kind of help push the Ravens forward.
Well, it helps whenever you have Lamar Jackson. I will
That is
say that
true.
would be an easier transition than what D'Amico had, and he already has a lot of good defensive players. I would say he has like the most pressure on him as any new head coach, but I mean that's he took the hardest job, so that's kind of on him. But I think he'll be all right. I think he'll at least churn out like 9 wins with how talented their roster is. Probably like 10, 11.
All right, Julian, tell me about Harbaugh.
So, I mean, there's a lot of mixed thoughts on Harbaugh. Whenever it comes down to it, though, every team that he takes over has success. And the same has been said or could be said about, since he took over the Chargers these past 2 seasons. Um, this is a team that the year before he took over only won 5 games, I'm pretty sure. And he immediately came in, made them a playoff team, which should probably not have been a playoff team. So I think he definitely elevated the team to that level. And then the same goes for this year, a team that was just plagued by injuries all year long. Um, makes it into the playoffs. Granted, both were first round exits, but it's still pretty impressive to do that with kind of the units that he was working with. Um, I think he brings good culture to the team. And I think that for the most part, he makes good decisions. Like, this past, I don't think the Greg Roman hire off the bat was a good hire by any means. But the fact that after only 2 seasons, when the offense was most notably the struggling side of the ball, he made the push to fire him, listen to everybody, and then go out and hire an elite guy, like he did, and fix the hole. So he's a willing head coach to fix the holes in his team. Um, you know, Creates great chemistry on the team as well. Puts together good units and elevates his players. Um, and I think so far he's shown that he's a competent drafter. So going into this draft will be kind of like a tell for year 3. But I think overall I'd put him in good. If he can get back to a Super Bowl, or get Herbert an MVP season, or just show some longevity to the team, I think he could get into elite. But for right now, I'd stick him in good.
I kind of had him mid, like most of last season, but firing Greg Roman and then hiring McDaniels, I think that's literally, I don't think you could have hired a better offensive coordinator. So that moves him up to good for me.
Yeah, I'd also go good. I think it's hard for like the CEO coaches to get up to elite just because it's like it's kind of hard for you to put as much of like a brand on the team as the guys who do. But I think for what he is, he's the best at him and his brother are, like the best at what they do. I mean, his brother has an infatuation with hiring offensive coordinators that don't work with his MVP quarterback, but or work too much. He just can't find that out. But definitely the McDaniel thing, it makes him look really good, especially when you want to like see the max potential out of Herbert finally. And this is probably the best chance he's had to do that so far in his career.
Now we got another first time head coach going from offensive coordinator of the Bills to head coach of the Bills, Joe Brady. Um, you know, I don't really like the hire because I just don't think it's going to pan out how the Bills organization thinks it's going to. I like Joe Brady, obviously part of the legendary LSU 2019 team that won the national title. Uh, went to Carolina soon after that as their offensive coordinator. Didn't do anything there. Got picked up by the Bills, and he's made Josh Allen kind of him and Dable, I'd say, turn Allen into a MVP. But yeah, I mean, I could see this kind of being like a 9 to 10 win Bills team. I just don't think he's much of a needle mover, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, LSU legend, but I think he was the safe hire, and I think the Bills do a lot of stuff the safe way, which might be the bane of them one day. I mean, that's what McDermott was complaining about. Then instead of like hearing him out there, like, we're gonna go find a guy that is okay with this roster. As much as I love Joe Brady, he did sound kind of crazy when as soon as he got hired, he was like, "Yeah, Keon Coleman, that's my guy, and we're gonna make it work." It's like, oh, kind of sounds like you might actually be the yes man for this ownership group, and you're just gonna like try to do what you can with what you got. But I mean, Josh Allen's probably gonna have a good year. Defense is probably gonna be mid. Probably gonna win about 10 games, 9 games.
You know what this hire kind of reminds me of is Jason Garrett coaching for the Dallas Cowboys. Just the guy who comes in is kind of, granted the job by ownership. And like you said, Keegan is just kind of like the yes man for the ownership. I think he can, just from his experience with LSU and then with the Bills, not with Carolina, but he's shown that he can put together competent offenses, pretty elite offenses, to be honest. But, um, I just don't know if he's going to, very similar to Jason Garrett, I don't know if he's ever going to be able to like push ownership to make necessary moves to actually put together like a championship team or anything like that. So I guess we'll see. I kind of feel like if the team does find success, it's going to be more so like built on the success of the players themselves and not of him as a head coach, but we'll see.
Now we got
Don't
the
compare
other.
an LSU legend to Jason Garrett ever again, man.
Now we got the other Harbaugh brother. Instead of in Baltimore this season, he will be coaching the New York Football Giants. And listen, man, playing against this guy for however many years he was with the, I think it was 17, 18.
Yeah, it's 18 or 19, yeah.
So I mean, I've seen a lot of this guy, and let me tell you, he's pretty mid. If he didn't have like elite players at very valuable positions, I don't think he would be a great, like, considered a great head coach. He had Ray Lewis as his middle linebacker, basically the leader of the defense. That's all you need to know about that. And then he gets blessed by drafting Lamar, and Lamar turns into an MVP quarterback. I I just don't know what else Harbaugh does to elevate a team. Like, he's one of the leader of men type CEO coaches, but it just doesn't feel like players really gravitate towards him. And I know he poached a lot of players from Baltimore in free agency, but did he really poach any of like their good players that they had? Like,
Yeah. I mean, he's like if Lane, I mean, future LSU legend, but he's like if Lane Kiffin was back in the NFL at this
right.
point, like where Lane Kiffin's at. And it's just like you like the guy, he's gonna have some fans, but yeah, what is he actually bringing besides like his name? Is not too much. I mean, there is you could say maybe he's good at drafting, but I think a lot of Ravens fans would probably credit that to their GM. So
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I think the Giants are probably going to win their most amount of games that they have won in a pretty long time. Like I have them winning anywhere from like 7 to 9 games. So I mean, he is a floor raiser. He's not a ceiling raiser, which for the Giants they desperately needed at least a floor to raise to at least try and get people excited about Giants football again. But yeah, I think he's just a mid coach.
I think just because there are so few head coaches, especially in the NFL today, that can say that they've won a Super Bowl, it's hard for me to just throw him in mid, but it's been so long since that Super Bowl, and like you said, it's more I don't know if it's more so due to him and more so just like them having the right players in the right time and situation that I really think it may not be totally attributable to him, even the Super Bowl win. So, I mean, I think that he makes good hires on the defensive side of the ball. He's put out some pretty elite defensive coordinators. Um, but I Yeah, it's hard for me to put him in mid, but I kind of feel like that's where he has to go until he can show that on a completely new franchise, he can put together like, I don't know, successful seasons or something, you know?
I mean, this team was like the favorite to win the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago and got nowhere close to it because of him. So I think that pretty much says all it needs to about where he is in terms of other coaches.
yeah, Kellen Moore, Saints, former Boise State quarterback.
Dog, I'm not gonna lie. This might be a Ben Johnson situation, and I might want to stick him in elite.
Yeah, you're
He,
smoking. You're
I was thinking
smoking.
that I was thinking that was good, but
Yeah.
this guy, he didn't make the playoffs. All right, he can't be an elite.
He didn't, but he took what I would consider the worst roster on paper and
Like
drafted a
5 or 6
quarterback that
wins.
everybody hated and then ended up going on a streak at the end of the season.
I
And
would
since
say,
then has made pretty good signings in free agency.
I mean, if he's not to be decided, so I wouldn't say he's mid. I would say based on the one season we've seen, he probably is good.
I would agree with that because it's like Julian said, if you look at the Saints team, everybody had them winning like 2 to 3 games. And like they probably should have won 2 to 3 games. But it seemed like towards the end of the season, he kind of figured out, what this team needs to be in order to win. And it's just started kind of clicking and they did start to win games. So I'm okay with the good tier. I'm good with either good or mid.
Yeah, like they were in like number one pick, Arch Manning, Tyler Shuck one season starting talks. I mean, they had Spencer Rattler coming into the year. He made the decision, even though people were against it, to bench Rattler, start Shuck. And now, you like looking towards the next season, you got all the Saints fans saying, I don't even know, but it's something like Shuck 'em.
Yeah, man. I'm with it.
So yeah, I'd say good. KOC.
Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer, some people call him.
I mean, I think just for keeping Brian Flores around as long as he has, he might be good.
I would say he's
I mean,
good.
he's a good offensive mind.
I mean, he
I
he basically drugged this Vikings team that had JJ McCarthy as their starting quarterback.
Yeah,
Now,
I
granted,
mean he's good.
that might have been because of him who wanted JJ, but even so, he drug up to 9 wins and almost the
He
playoffs.
wanted a million other guys before he wanted JJ, and the ownership didn't get him it. So I don't even know if I can fault him. He saw JJ throw 60 miles an hour, and he was like, "Okay, maybe I can cook something."
And
But
throw 12 times in the national championship game.
yeah, now the nine persona took over, and it's not gonna work out. But yeah, with Wentz and McCarthy as your quarterbacks, and you were in contention for the playoffs, that's got to be good. And keeping Flores,
And you
Snagging
went out
Kyler.
and got Kyler.
got Kyler. I mean, yeah, come on,
If he can
they might
do
win
the
a
same
Super Bowl.
shit that he did with Sam Darnold with Kyler this year, then I mean that's impressive shit, man. Like
See,
this
but this time he
Vikings
needs to
team,
hold on to him. If Kyler resurges into
He's on a 1-year deal.
yeah, if he resurges into the best version of himself, the Vikings cannot screw this up twice in a row, and they need to hold
I
on to
don't.
him.
I
Daniel
don't think he
Jones
would
too.
leave. I don't think Kyler would leave if he had his best season. I think he would. I know people like to say he doesn't care about football and he only plays Call of Duty, but Call of Duty's dying, man, and he's gonna need a hobby to pick up.
It's been
And
dead, man.
I didn't or we didn't mention this either, but technically Daniel Jones, and I know he's not a fantastic quarterback, but he did lead the Colts to like an 8-win streak this year, and he was on under KOC as well. So, I mean, he's got to be in good. He's a good head
so, what is
coach.
JJ McCarthy doing wrong? Is the question.
He's JJ McCarthy, man. Everybody saw that motherfucker in college in the national championship, saw him throw 12 passes, and was like, yeah, this guy is not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
And missed his entire rookie season. So
Yeah, I think that was the real detractor. Was if you were, because he was young, he was a really young rookie. But if you had a shot, it was gonna be developing early. And we got Stefanski.
new familiar face, different place for him going down to the ATL. He's got Tua and Michael Penix as his quarterbacks, man.
Hey, man,
Surreal.
and Trevor Simeon.
Yeah, fuck,
Okay,
fuck all of them.
I'm not saying
I'm gonna hate what you're saying.
this. I'm not saying this for this reason, but just think about like the evenness of all this and how many possible bad coaches we will have. Stefanski might be bad.
I can
I don't
see
understand
two other
mid, but
bad coaches on the list, not including Stefanski. But brother, he is just like I would take him above Glenn and the other two that I think are bad, but I don't think Stefanski himself is bad. I think he is like firmly in the mid tier.
yeah, okay, I'm cool with mid, but just like mid, and we shouldn't talk about him for long.
Yeah, he's
I
he's
mean,
definitely towards the bottom of mid.
yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely mid, but you
In
can't
that
put him in
case, move
bad.
D'Amico up a little bit.
You want to rank him inside of here?
Just casually do it as we continue
Yeah,
on.
we
You
start
can't
moving around.
you can't put him in bad simply because he did win Coach of the Year twice.
Man, that
And
award don't mean shit.
well, I mean, he took a 40-year-old Joe Flacco and got the
And then they
Browns
got
into the playoffs.
smacked by the Houston Texans in the wild card round badly.
What I'm
Badly.
saying is that you can't put him in bad. He has to go in mid.
I'm cool with mid. Matt Ryan played it safe. Got a guy that is going to be able to give him a couple decent seasons.
Got
And I mean, he
another
already has a better roster. I mean, he has at least a better offense than he did in Cleveland.
got another first time head coach in Clint Kubiak for the Vegas Raiders. I think he's the one I'm most interested in terms of these first time head coaches, just to see what he can do. Because obviously, just won a Super Bowl with Seattle. Year before that, had New Orleans on a roll until probably the midseason, where it just kind of all fell apart for him. But you know,
I mean, he was cooking with absolute water,
yeah.
dog water.
But
So, I mean, I don't blame him.
He'll be getting a rookie quarterback, as everything seems to be pointing towards that, with Fernando going to the Raiders at 1. But, you know, they got a lot of nice young offensive pieces on that Raiders team, and want to see what he can do with them.
On
Yeah.
paper, he's inheriting one of the most competent young core teams in the NFL. So, I mean, it's going to be a true test on if he does bad, he's probably just a bad head coach. But I mean, if he does good, then I mean, he's probably a pretty good head coach. So, I guess we'll see.
If they can
Yeah.
go out and get like a star-studded receiver too in this draft, like maybe, oh well, they don't have the Ravens pick anymore. I was going to say Omar Cooper towards the end.
Might just trade up. I
Yeah,
mean, they might wait to see if somebody falls, but if they really want a guy.
yeah, they really just need a receiver for this offense to kind of be like a complete young core, but want to see what he can do. And then next up, we got Liam Cohen. First, just finished his first year with the Jaguars. Had T
I'll let
Law,
you guys take this, man.
had T
I
Law
don't want to
moving
seem
and grooving
biased.
out there. What, you don't want to talk about Liam Cohen, man? You watched the most out of him out of all of us.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm still gonna come off as biased. Cause like
I
obviously the Jaguars had their most successful season that they've had like recently, last couple of seasons, last few seasons, and it was his first year. But I mean, I just don't like the way their team's built in general. I don't like Gladstone. I don't like how he talks. I don't like the moves that he makes. I don't like the direction he wants to take like a football team, just going like so analytic based and like the dude is definitely using ChatGPT at his desk. But on to Cohen, I mean, he's obviously good. He hoed the Buccaneers, you know, and not that he didn't have the right to go become a head coach, but there's a lot of people that go become head coaches and they don't leave a mark on a team like they did the Bucks. And I just don't like his personality. And I don't. If I was a player and I had all these coaches to pick from, and I'm like having interviews or calls with them or whatever, and I'm talking to Liam Cohen, I don't like the guy. All right. And so for that reason, I would put him in mid. But if we're going off like the Kellen Moore logic of just like 1 year, didn't he make the team better? I would say he's probably good.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we
But
put
like,
Kellen
let's be
Moore,
honest, and they lost ETN, which he was a big part of the team this year, and they haven't done anything. That's Gladstone's whole thing is we're not going to do anything. We're going to get comp picks. Which okay, dumbass. Let's see how that works out for you. But out, outside of that, T-Law has been underperforming for like 5 years now. So about damn time. So I don't even know if you can give that all the way to Cohen. It might just be T-Law finally being like, oh yeah, I was the #1 pick.
we put Kellen Moore in good. We have to put Liam Cohen in good. Just so, let me unbiased opinion here. Liam Cohen got the most amount out of Trevor Lawrence out of any head coach that he's had in his career so far.
He had Urban Meyer, man. I mean, come
See,
on. The
but you got to put that.
competition.
You got to. I mean, he didn't even finish an entire year with the Jags before they realized how fucking terrible that was. But I mean, this offense looked like it was moving and grooving for most of the season. Had a tough first round playoff matchup with the Bills. Could have won that game. Didn't walk away with it, but I think Cohen is going to be one of the better offensive head coaches in the league. And I would say he's probably towards the top of this good category. I'd have him over Moore, Harbaugh. Probably that's where it stops. I wouldn't put him above KOC or
Single-handedly ruined Brian Thomas Jr., LSU legend.
see. But was that? I love
Yes,
BTJ. He's
it
my guy.
was. No, it was.
You know how many fucking balls he dropped this season?
You know who made him drop those balls?
Not Trevor Lawrence. A drop is
No,
one
Liam.
hundred
It was
percent.
Liam Cohen.
Oh yeah, on
It
the
was Liam
sideline.
Cohen. Yeah, he's greasing up his gloves.
No,
Doesn't want him to succeed.
trying to make
Doesn't
him
want to
fail.
pay him.
His
That's
star receiver.
Gladstone. Yeah, yeah.
Whenever you
Okay.
still have
All right.
3 years for
Jags
him,
fans, if there's any Jags fans watching, just continue to watch. It won't always be this bad. It's
I
just
I unbiased opinion, I think Liam Cohen showed that he can be a pretty damn good head coach. I think, it
Duval.
was
Wait, you don't
I
like
think
that
he's
man?
a little bit I think I think he's a little bit cringe. I'm not gonna say that he's not. I think the interview that he had where the reporter was like telling him better luck next year and everything, I think that it was a little bit cringe,
I
but
think he's an asshole. That's why I was saying people don't
All
like
right,
him. But
wrap
yeah,
it
he
up.
does come
Wrap
off
it
as
up.
cringe.
I think he's a pretty
No, because
damn
remember the
good
thing he
head
had with
coach.
Salah? Because Salah called him out, and then y'all remember the little beef they had? And I was on Salah's side. So
Yeah,
now
shocker.
Yeah,
they're
we
gonna play each
weren't
other twice a
asking.
year.
Anyway,
Hey, it's just cool that they're gonna play each other twice a year. That's all I'm saying.
I think he goes in the good category.
All right,
Yeah,
next
I'm fine
next
with
up,
good.
Kyle Shanahan. This one's pretty easy. He's elite.
Well,
49ers wouldn't be shit without him. He's
this guy underachieves
single-handedly
every year,
he's
right?
single-handedly keeping this team afloat pretty much. They have a average to below average quarterback in Brock Purdy, zero fucking receivers besides a 33-year-old Mike Evans, or however old he
Yeah,
is.
this guy's like a
That
magician.
yeah. He's like if
That's his skill. He just makes stuff happen, man.
He's like the Bill Belichick of Mike Tomlins, you know? Just finds a way to fucking win, but wins more and wins in the playoffs.
He wins like
Yeah,
1 or 2 games in the playoffs,
that's
but yeah.
that's pretty apt. The Bill Belichick of Mike Tomlins. You're not wrong there. I mean, he just other than like the Super Bowl situation, he just can't really seem to do wrong. Like no matter how bad of a choice he makes in signing a player, trading for a player, playing a player just in general, like somehow he just keeps dragging along Christian McCaffrey's corpse down the field and making him fucking score touchdowns.
Making
So,
a Bernie's type beat.
yeah, man, I just don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know
I
what it
mean,
is.
he got Brock Purdy paid. He just lets Ayuk chill at home. I mean, and 12 wins, bam.
He
So
is
yeah,
him.
Nick Bosa, best player out for the whole season, most of the season, right?
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
Yeah.
like after week 3, he was out.
slide him above Ben Johnson, man. Fuck it,
And
just
then
for
I
the
would
hell of it.
say another coach that I would slot into the elite is Matt LaFleur. Do y'all agree with this?
I
I not necessarily.
don't know.
Okay, so what is the take for him not being elite?
The whole ending to the Rogers thing was weird. I understand maybe they just didn't click, so it was time to move on. But even like with Love, there's been like immediate hope, but I wouldn't say there's been like immediate success. Like the Packers haven't done anything that like post Rogers era, there hasn't been anything that's like changed in a drastic way that makes me think like, oh, the Packers are like better than they were. The Packers are back. Like I mean, they just won like 9 games. I don't know, man. I would say he's definitely good, and I would say that his team looks elite at times, but then he doesn't really come through. Like he's like what Shanahan is. That's what he wants to be. And it seems like he could be that when everything like maybe if Micah in his first full year there and he stays healthy the whole year and the secondary improves a little bit and went 14 games, first seed. But I mean they're in a really tough division and he was just in that division and he came out the same as everybody else, if not worse, because of the tie. I'm cool with wherever he goes, if Julian agrees, but
I mean, I don't know if I would stick him in elite just because like I haven't really seen the pack like Cam was saying. Like I just haven't since he kind of took over and then like I mean that last Aaron Rodgers year wasn't. I won't really like say it was him taking over the team. So like it's kind of a transitional period. But I mean, Love has pretty much like been his guy since, and the team has been his since. And I mean, what the Packers are known for is just having a whole bunch of wide receiver twos on their team. So like I don't know. I feel like they haven't really had much of an identity the last couple of years. Like they've made a few playoff appearances, but and I mean, they've screwed over the Cowboys on occasion, but outside of that, I mean, I feel like the Packers just haven't really done anything of note like since he took over. But I don't know. I mean, if you feel strongly enough to put him in elite, maybe I'm missing something. But if anything, I would say maybe he'd be like the top of good, maybe, but I don't know.
My thing is outside of like these two coaches, I don't know if any other coaches bringing this team to the playoffs. You know, because I like Jordan Love. I think he's probably around the number 10 quarterback, maybe like 10 to 15 probably quarterback in the league. Have no solidified wide receiver one. You have Josh Jacobs as your running back, which he's a pretty good running back. Your offensive line is mediocre right now. And then your defense is really good, but I just don't think any other coaches winning as much as he is with this team is my thing. So
I
I would
think if any, I think if anything, we have to create a new tier
no,
that is great. Yeah, or he needs to go down.
yeah, I would
This,
say
I, I think he can easily be elite. Like as soon as like the team finally starts getting clicking with like the defensive moves you just made, and you let Dubs walk, and you're gonna get Golden like more into the system now. I think he can very easily be elite, but I would just say based on what we've seen so far, probably good.
yeah, I think he's anywhere from like Ben Johnson to D'Amico is his range.
And just to be clear, like as far as putting him in the elite tier, the guys that we have in there so far are a guy who has multiple Super Bowl wins, a guy who's been to multiple Super Bowls, and a guy who in his first year took a team that's historically terrible and, pushed them into a playoff run. And then before that, was a fantastic offensive coordinator. So, I mean, I think that the elite category it kind of sets itself apart. Whereas Lafleur, he's a good head coach. He's top of the good head coaches, but
Got paid.
aside from like getting the Packers further than what they could be and like being an elevator, I just need to see a little bit more to put him in elite.
And Ben Johnson might be agenda pushing a little bit, but that's okay. Within
Also,
2 years, this take will not be
yeah,
hot.
a
It
little
will be like, oh yeah,
projection.
Ben Johnson's up there. Yeah.
Another first time head coach coming up. Got Michael LaFleur, Cardinals' new head coach. I'm not expecting a whole lot from him, especially with the roster that this Cardinals team has. They're like a 3 to 5 win team. I don't think it's going to be pretty for them next season, but you know, get a high draft pick, get a quarterback in 2027, and then go from there. But 2026 is not going to be fun, I don't think.
I mean, you draft like David Bailey, and he works out this year. You draft Dante Moore next year after he's a little bit more polished. You got Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride. Draft some more on the defense. I think they have a lot brighter of a future with LaFleur than Gannon. I think
Yeah,
Gannon was just not built to control
Gannon
the team.
was terrible, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Gannon was one of, if not the worst head coach that was coaching this past season. And I mean, I think that this LaFleur, he comes from good stock, as far as, coaching staff that he's, kind of gone through. Um, I think that he shows a lot of potential. We're just gonna kind of have to wait and see. I think, and just to be clear, Cardinals fans, I think if the Cardinals win any more than like 3 or 4 games this season, they're doing you guys a disservice. And I'm not one for intentionally tanking, but I mean, if this Cardinals team comes out and they win like 7 games, which I kind of think is impossible, but if they do and they're just getting themselves a lower draft pick, it's kind of just doing this franchise as a disservice because they haven't really done anything to give themselves more draft picks or set them up for, you know, having a mid-season rather than just like a terrible season next year.
Yeah. Good luck to the guy.
Now we got Super Bowl winning head coach Mike McDonald. I think this
This
is
guy's mid, dude. This
easy
guy's
no
mid.
brainer. Now,
Yeah.
where do we have him above Shanahan?
This guy's
Not
a
quite.
freak of nature,
Not quite. Not quite.
but
He's
I don't know.
he's already won more Super Bowls than Shanahan, though,
It
bro.
doesn't matter, man. Don't talk to me about ring culture.
I think this guy is a freak of nature, just to be clear. The fact that he only saw his son for like a day, a week, or whatever it was, and grinded out a win.
Deadbeat.
This guy's a freak of nature. He goes in the elite tier. He's elite of the elite.
Nah, yeah, he's a cool little guy. Say it little because I'm taller than the guy, but anyway, I think congrats, won a Super Bowl. Big deal. D'Amico's gonna get his probably next year or so. So,
Okay.
but
I'm gonna
yeah, I'd
keep
say elite.
I'm gonna keep this next one short, sweet, to the point. This is like just the middest of mid I can think of. Mike McCarthy. He is not a floor raiser. He is not a ceiling raiser. He says he can
It's
develop
just Mike
quarterbacks.
McCarthy.
He says he can develop quarterbacks, but Brett Favre was already good by the time he started, becoming a coach.
Touching him.
Aaron Rodgers, he's fucking Aaron Rodgers. So, like, you really don't need to coach Aaron Rodgers a whole lot, but I guess you have a little bit of Aaron Rodgers development under your belt. Then you go to Dallas. Dak is already developed. So,
Dak hates you. I mean,
you
Dak
can't
fucking despises you.
you can't have that either. And now you're in Pittsburgh, who doesn't have a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be coming back. Mike McCarthy is just not doing anything special for any football team, especially my fucking Steelers. So going from Mike
You know,
Tomlin to McCarthy is going to be a shock. But as long as I don't want 9 wins, I don't want 10 wins, I don't want 8 wins, I don't even want fucking 7 wins. I want to be in the 3 to 6 range so that we can actually get a valuable draft pick to use at the most important position at quarterback to get somebody who can help us get back to where we're supposed to be.
Mike McCarthy this season, in Pokemon, whenever the little substitute dog comes out,
Mhm.
and he takes the attack for a turn or two.
That's what I'm
That
hoping he
is
does.
that is what his role is gonna be. He's a little pudgy guy. They're gonna throw him out there on the sideline. All right, he's gonna. I love Pittsburgh. He'll do anything for this team.
This is my
What I
home.
think is gonna happen is they're going to look like a competent team trying, but they're just gonna get like beat on this year, and I think you will get like your 5 or 6 win season.
That's what I'm
Because I
hoping
think
for.
like he's gonna be trying his hardest. You got like the new receiving core, bring back A-Rod. I think they're gonna be like trying as hard as they can. I think with the Ravens back at strength, the Bengals looking more competent, even the Browns looking more competent. Yeah, I think it will, with like not by choice, probably be a rough year.
I think nobody has told Mike McCarthy that this is going to be a substitute year for the Steelers, and I think he's going to go out there and try his little ass off as hard as he possibly can. This man is coaching for his one shot at a coaching position before he's basically guaranteed to never get a job again. And will it be enough? Probably not. Could it be enough? Probably not. But who really knows? He's a mid quarter or he's a mid head coach, and that's all you can really expect.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Let's move on. Mike Vrabel, head coach for Patriots. Think he's a pretty good head coach. Brought him to the Super
Yep.
Bowl this last season.
I mean, he's good to elite. The Titans are poverty, and the only time they've ever been decent in recent is, since they've been in Tennessee, was under Vrabel. Yeah, you could say the early 2000s, but realistically speaking, it was under Vrabel.
I'd say he's probably top of good.
Yeah, I would say he's like under, or he's probably might be above D'Amico. Yeah,
I'd say
just leave him
he's.
there.
I mean,
We don't have to get too specific on that as long as he's in the top half, you know.
This is an interesting
Sirianni,
one.
dude, put him in bed. I don't like Sirianni. I don't care about the Super Bowl. He's bad at what he does. He's a CEO coach. He's bad at it. And the only thing about him is he has a little swagger. And the players are like, oh, he's cool. I like Nick. But then you have the players that are like, this dude is fucking annoying and I hate this guy, like AJ Brown. You know
like
AJ
whenever you
Brown thinks
have
that.
It's like whenever you have a cool high school teacher, like, and everyone thinks the high school teacher is like real cool. He's like a cool guy, and then like after school one day, you see him like driving off with like one of the students in his car with him, and it's like,
Whoa. What?
I mean,
I had
not to
where
say
you were going with that, brother.
not to say that this is what Sirianni would do. I'm just saying it's the comparison where he seems real cool to his players, but on the outside,
Yeah.
everyone looking in's like, this guy's kind of lame.
Or like you see him getting arrested for a DUI or something, and you're like, that's Mr. Sirianni.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get it. You get it.
Like he can't even be mid. Like besides the Super Bowl, like what is there to say? Like, yeah, this guy, you know, he's
And
pretty
it's you can't
pretty
even
good.
say he's good at building staff because besides the Super Bowl run, he has not been able to put together a competent, at least offensive staff. Now, he looked out that Vic Fangio wanted to come be the DC for the Eagles, but you cannot figure out the offensive side of the ball besides Kellen Moore. And obviously, Kellen Moore is now not there anymore. So,
I think that
Yeah,
was more
I
so
think
just
it's a big.
Kellen Moore wanting a ring.
I think it's a big shout out to Howie Roseman because he gives them godly rosters every year. That's why I'm saying Sirianni's got to have some dirt on someone in there, man. There's no way this guy still has a job.
Every time he like shaves his head and then like runs around like on the field like screaming, I just like it's cringe. It's like on par with Liam Cohen type cringe, except he's just I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's Yeah, I don't know. He was brought up wrong, man.
Something about the guy.
Robert Sala, bald head, got blackballed by the Jets. Kind of just threw him out. Then he succeeded with the 49ers last year on the defense again. It's kind of like the 49ers are like found a youth, like a
They're a
potion of
rehabilitation.
regeneration.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like where KOC is like the rehab for quarterbacks. The Kyle Shanahan is like the rehab for coaches.
yeah. I think Salah's a good coach. I think maybe you could argue mid, just because like as a head coach, he didn't really do anything. But the Jets are kind of like similar to the Cowboys in a way where the ownership kind of controls a lot of what can be done. So, but I mean, Salah did have some solid rosters outside of the quarterback position. So I mean, it's kind of tough to tell. I'd see him in like top of mid or bottom of good.
I think it's
I
got to go mid.
I was thinking mid just because he hasn't like won a lot. And like
Yeah, it's
granted,
been
like you
a
were
good.
saying, like part of that is the Jets or just being the Jets, Oregon being terrible. But there were a couple rosters where it's like, okay, this Jets team, they could be the real deal, and they just didn't put it all together. So yeah, I think he's top of mid. I think if he wins this year with Tennessee and like Cam Ward looks good, their offense is kind of clicking, their defense is elite. If their defense is elite, then I'd be okay moving him up to good. But as of right now, with what we have seen of him as a head coach, I think top of mid is fine for him.
I mean, so far he's brought in a really good staff with him. Uh, he brought in Dayball, which I think outside of like our hire, then Dayball was like number two for at least who I wanted. So, um, I think that he's shown competence as a head coach this time around, and so I think it's worth putting him in mid. It's also worth noting that, well, I mean Mike McCarthy, but it's a little bit different. But I guess it's not. But they're like the two head coaches who are new this year, but we've seen them coach before. So we, aren't putting them in TBD, obviously, because we've seen them before. And it is interesting that one of these head coaches who has coached before, who is a new head coach this year, has a Super Bowl ring, and yet he's lower in the mid ranking than Salah is. So that is something to behold.
Man, I was like 6 whenever McCarthy got that Super Bowl ring.
I don't like to talk about it.
It's got dust on it, man.
McVay, pretty easy. I think he is the number
Oh
one
man.
coach in the league, and
Yeah.
I think it's kind of close between. I like McDonald as the second best coach in the league, but you got to respect Andy Reid and I guess what Shanahan has done for so long too. But McVay is by like clear cut elite head coach.
He's got the
Yeah.
longevity for it now too, because he's been in the league long enough and has shown success for long enough to where he's like earned that top spot. Whereas like McDonald, he can't pass up like the respect that the other two have earned, because I mean he's just too new.
I think McVay is on natural Adderall, and I think it's gonna fuel him at least until he's like 60. So I think he's gonna end up probably being the greatest head coach of all time. Definitely of our generation. I mean, you could argue Andy Reid right now, but he's kind of like the early 2000s to 2010s. But I mean, he's been great too. But I would just like the success he's already had, and just like who knows what else he's gonna come up with as the years go on. I would hopefully he can hopefully he has a receiver to play this year, and hopefully they win some games.
And hopefully they don't do any dances on the field that they're
No,
not
and
supposed.
hopefully hopefully they don't go nibbling at anybody allegedly. But
Allegedly.
shout out to McVay, because hearing stuff like that and just like everything he's kind of had to go through as the Rams coach, and he still like churns out these seasons. Even like Aaron Donald just saying like, "No, I'm done. I think I'm good now." It's like if I was McVay, I'd be like, "Bro, what the hell? We're about to win Super Bowls."
Yeah, multiple. Like, definitely, I feel like if Donald had stuck around, there's a good chance they could have made like another run, like the year after.
Yeah, we'll never know. But yeah, I would definitely say he's the best of what we got right now.
And Sean Payton
Sean
out in
Payton.
Denver.
He's elite, man.
He's probably elite.
I think you
I mean,
got
you
to give
trade
it
a
to
first
him.
round pick for him. He takes Bo Nix to the AFC Championship. Come on, man.
I think he was pretty close to elite, if not already an elite, like before Denver. But after what he has done with Bo Nix for the last 2 seasons, if Harbaugh can get into good based off of what he's done with the Chargers roster the last 2 seasons, Peyton gets into elite for what he's done with Bo Nix the last 2 seasons because that guy is terrible. But somehow they've made their way into the playoffs the last 2 years. So
Yeah, and I mean, he gave in our childhoods. He showed us what it's like to give a city a championship, even if none of us were Saints fans.
The
And that ring isn't as dusty as McCarthy's. So,
this
or
is
is
true.
it? No, yeah,
uh
it's not as dusty.
yeah, Shane Steichen
And
of the
who's
Colts.
Steichen here? Um,
I think he's good.
as an AFC South watcher, Steichen definitely elevates the Colts like more than Frank Reich. So I would say he's probably good. He has good ideas. I think the team building is kind of hurting him in some ways. But I think he does a good job with like what he's got already. I don't think they've like made any major moves to like help him out, and he's still been able to like not be like super good or make the playoffs, but overachieve for what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really make dumb move. Well, I mean, I think some contracts that he's handed out are a little bit egregious, but I mean, I don't think that he makes like dumb moves as a head coach. And I think overall his teams are pretty decent, at least this year. Like they way overperformed my expectations, and I feel like they're never like horrible. So
And I mean, he's better than Gannon was, so
yeah,
he's got that going for him. And then
Next up,
Todd Bowles.
I know exactly where he goes, man. He does nothing for this Bucks team. Like literally nothing to make them better. Like
Yeah,
he's a defensive guy, but their defense has just been like below average every year that he's been there.
yeah. No, I mean, ever since the Brady Bucks Super Bowl, the Buccaneers have just been in a very stagnant place, like they were much before the Brady Bucks Super
Man, they
Bowl.
really
So
got blessed for those couple years.
yeah, I mean, if I was a Tampa Bay fan, I would never give up those 2 years ever in my life.
Yeah.
Even the year they didn't win, I'd be like, yeah, we had Tom Brady and we got a free ring, and I don't. That's all
even though
there
they
is.
didn't even win, that's like the year that Brady broke like all of the records. Like
Yeah,
so,
broke all the records as a Buccaneer. But yeah,
yeah,
he's bad.
bad.
He, he's
It's
untalented.
kind of crazy that he is still employed by that organization, but
Kind of
Like,
crazy he's still a head coach. Like he's had chances and he's been mediocre to bad, and he just sticks around because I mean he's got like that identity. And he's well known, but it's like sometimes the fraternity coaches need to take a rest.
he's
yeah.
like the he's like the Aaron Glenn of Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty accurate.
Todd Monken, new Cleveland Browns head coach. I don't like the hire. I don't like it at all for this organization. Shador is going to be their starting quarterback. Don't like that either. But hey, man, who knows more than the Browns do about how to play football in the NFL? You know,
Julian, what do you think about what do you think of Munkin?
I watched an interview today at lunch, funnily enough, with a bunch of different like head coaches all together, and he was part of the interview, and he was having to be fed answers by somebody off camera, and I think that just kind of
You think
shows.
he's the Joe Biden of the NFL?
I think he may be
He kind of
senile.
looks like him in that little picture. All
I'm
right, but
not
here,
I'm not kidding. I don't I think he's senile. He may be like the least
no, dude.
knowledgeable head coach
All
in the
he's
league
got in
right
his
now.
brain is offense, all right? And he's making the right decision, getting Shadur in there, instilling some confidence in him from day one. And I think Shadur, he's thrown for at least 3,500 this year, man. 25 touchdowns, maybe like
You are
12 picks.
smoking
Dude, watch
crack.
it happen. We're gonna come back to this episode. It's gonna happen. 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns. We'll go 14 picks.
There is
All right.
Probably
no
25 picks too.
Nope, nope. 14 of them. He's gonna protect the football.
I'm
They're gonna
I'm
pound
gonna
the
come
rock.
back to this episode halfway through the season when he's already thrown 25 picks and is only at 1,200 yards.
All right. Well, Shadur, if you hear this, you know, send me a chain or something. Give me some money. All right.
You don't know
On
you,
to the
Logan.
last one.
You don't know you.
On to the terrorist of the NFL. This guy is holding back Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase legacy,
See, but
and
they
he
seem
needs
to
to be
like him.
stopped.
They seem to want to keep him around, and I just don't
Hey,
get it.
well, see,
Yeah, because all he calls is throw ball downfield.
some of these guys got dirt on their teams. All right, you got to realize that there is politics to this. He has to have something. Look at him. He's cheesing way too hard for how unsuccessful he has been.
I think that Super Bowl run is really what's keeping his
That
job.
was ancient. I was a
I know.
teen boy when they went on that run.
I just was able to start drinking alcohol.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe that's even the same coach. You think they would have already tried something else different since then.
It
It's the
boggles
Bengals.
my mind every single year when Zach Taylor still remains having a job as a head coach. And that's not to say maybe he couldn't be a good head coach somewhere else. I won't say that necessarily because, I mean, he's got a competent offense. Like, as far as passing offense goes, the Bengals have been consistently with Joe Burrow or without Joe Burrow one of the most volatile, high octane passing offenses in the league. However, literally everything else about this team is just poo. I mean, like just year in and year out, bad defense, bad offensive line, no protection for Joe Burrow, almost zero. I mean, their running backs aren't ever bad, but like they don't really utilize the run game, and so like I just I don't know how he is steadily employed when you're just wasting two generational talents by being one-sided. And granted, a lot of that could be attributed to the Bengals ownership. We know how, I think everybody knows how they are as ownership, but yeah, no, I mean, this is him and Todd Bowles are bottom of the league as far as head coaches go.
Yeah, they're not great. That's one way to put it. Not
Well,
really doing a
there
whole
we
lot for
have
their
it, man.
team.
Got our complete tier ranking of the NFL head coaches here. You guys have a favorite, man? Who's your favorite coach?
McVay.
McVay. McDonald's making a run for it though.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
know who
said,
I'm going with, man. Ride or die. Ride or die.
quirky little guy up there in Seattle.
All right, now we're gonna do a little trivia game because again, there's not much going on. We want to do something other than just the coach ranking, so we're just gonna hop into a gridiron trivia game here. I believe we're gonna be going with the higher, lower game mode.
Ready, man. I love trivia. 2024 receiving yards, Chris Godwin or Xavier Smith?
Probably
Okay.
Xavier Smith. Chris Godwin was out for most of that season, I
Okay,
think.
yeah, it's a trick. It's a trick.
Wow. We
Okay.
got
Okay.
0. Julian, no. Yeah, you
There's
fucked this
no
up.
way. He only played like 4 games.
Career passing
Career.
yards, Mahomes or
I mean, it's
Stafford?
Stafford. It's Stafford.
Stafford.
It's gotta be
Stafford or
Stafford.
Dak?
It's
Stafford.
Stafford.
Love or Dak?
Stack.
Dak.
Yeah. Love or
Ooh.
Cat? I think it's got to be Love.
Ooh. It's
Yeah.
love.
Oh my god,
No.
by
1,000
1,000.
more? Oh no.
By 1,000.
Jordan Love might be trash,
Okay,
man.
okay. This is the run. This is the run here.
Career passing yards, Foles or
Foles.
Brissett?
Foles.
You
Foles. Foles.
think?
Foles. Oh, it's Brissett. It's Brissett. You're right.
Oh my god,
Oh my god, that was
500.
so close. Oh, Lamar.
Yeah,
Matt
Matt
Ryan.
Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Matt
Matt
Ryan.
Ryan. Baker? Chad Henne
It's
didn't
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, Baker.
it's yeah, it's bigger. Ooh.
Ooh. This one might be Chad Henne, man. I think it's
Henney.
Chad. Yeah,
Barely.
Jalen.
Hurts.
Jalen.
Is it?
Yeah,
Gotta
it
be.
is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ooh. That's
Jalen.
good.
Carson
Okay,
Wentz
so
didn't
that's
play that
like
long.
okay, yeah, no, it's gotta be Hurts.
It hurts.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Y'all
What?
god,
sold.
Julian!
Y'all
There is
sold
no way.
Julian sold.
again.
Julian sold, man. Julian sold. It's
There
always
is
him.
no way he didn't play that
All right,
long.
passing yards for 2024.
It's Daniel
Next.
no Bo.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible
Oh,
sneak.
Danny Dimes or Michael Penix?
Danny
Danny
Dimes.
Dimes. Michael
You
Penix didn't play the
think?
whole season. He didn't play
Danny
the whole season.
Dimes.
I am. Was
Ooh.
Burrow hurt?
Ew. N-
Not this season.
No.
I would say Burrow.
Oh my
He was
god.
What?
there that season. Okay, so it's the beginning year of the season. So it's not. It's 2024, 2025.
Yeah.
Oh wait, or is it?
All right,
I don't even
2024.
know, man.
This is love, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god,
Okay.
we're
Oh my.
selling.
We're
We're
cooked.
selling.
We're so cooked.
2024
It's hard,
rushing.
man. It
This
was.
is rushing.
James
Was
Cook.
it Taylor? I think it might have been Cook.
It was close.
This has got to be
Taylor.
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 Got to be
Kyron.
Kyrie.
Kyron.
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 Javante.
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 Yeah. He had a good year. Ooh.
I think it's still
Javante.
Javante. Yeah.
Wait.
Ooh.
I think this is
What do you know,
ETN.
Keegan?
I
Yeah,
mean, this is
ETN.
2024, so he's still on the Eagles. Yeah. Oh my god. I think it's got to
I'd
be
go
Kenny,
Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah.
the devil you know. Hey. All right, single season receiving. Devontae.
Javante.
Javante.
BTJ had a crazy.
Yeah.
It's BTJ.
I think it was like 1,200. Yeah.
Ooh. What did
Ooh.
Brock do?
He
I
had
don't think
over
it was
1,000.
1,200.
No, it wasn't 1,200.
It was close. Gronk's got to be over 12, huh?
In
Did
2010?
he have
Yeah, it's got to
12
be
though?
Gronk. It's got to be Gronk. No. Oh, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
13. Damn.
It was Gronk.
In what season?
Their best season, I
2015.
Was
think.
Devontae.
No.
No. Yeah, okay. I was about to say it's not Devontae.
Oh, this one might
Oh,
be Devontae, though.
This might
it's
be
Devontae.
Devontae.
No, my. When did Mark
Mark
Andrews have
Andrews had
1,300 yards?
1,300? Oh my god.
I mean,
Yeah.
he is Lamar's only receiver, man.
Career receiving yards.
Mike.
Gotta be Mike. Yeah. Ooh.
Mike.
I think
Mike.
it's still
Mike.
Mike.
Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup.
I don't
Cooper
know.
Cup.
I
Cup.
don't know. I told you.
I didn't think Emmanuel Sanders had that many elite seasons, but
All right,
he
rushing.
played for a while.
Tajay Spears or Tila in 2024?
I mean,
I
these seem
think
like trick
Ty J was out with
questions.
like an Achilles this year, wasn't he?
That was 2024, so
Yeah, last year. What? Oh no, that was this year, wasn't it?
I feel like it's the year that's messing me up, man.
Rear pass yards. Trevor Lawrence.
T-Law.
I think the game's broken. I think we broke it.
Oh, nice.
Ty J Spears has
Oh, I
one.
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
broken.
because you're closing. You're...
I hit play again and it still happened. Single season passing yards. I think it's Russ.
Russ. Oh
No,
Guys,
my
Goff had
god,
like a
dude.
we
5,000
don't
or
know
like a
ball.
Okay, we might have
no.
to cut this. We might have to
I
cut
actually
this
did
one.
know that.
Uh,
Goff had a crazy season. What?
yeah, this has
Amari
got to
Hooker.
be
Ray
2025.
Yeah, it's off.
Yeah.
Cause we would have known Burrow was hurt.
Jones had more.
Yeah, Jones had
Yeah.
more.
You say
Barely.
that like you do it. It was only fucking 3.
I go out this year.
Oh my god.
Oh.
No.
I,
We got
terrible.
one more. This is the last one.
Uh,
And this is tough,
A-
man. Tough one to go out on.
Agent.
Jacobs.
Uh,
Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Henry.
Derrick Henry.
All right, Kev.
Brees Hall. Brees Hall. Brees Hall.
All right, Kev.
Woody Marks.
Who
Woody
had more?
Marks. Woody Marks. Ah.
I think this is
Ashton
also
Jinty.
GT. Ooh,
Wasn't Pacheco hurt?
I think so.
Or no?
No, I
No, it
think he was
might be
just bad.
Pacheco. I think it's
I think it's
Pacheco.
RJ Harvey. It was RJ Harvey. No.
Okay, I'm never listening to
Pacheco
you.
was hurt, bro.
I'm
Pacheco
never
was hurt.
listening to anything you
All
say
right,
again.
one more and y'all lead it. One more and y'all lead it, man. I'll
Here,
just chime
refresh
in.
the whole page so we like fix whatever's going on here.
All right, receiving yards for I'm assuming this last season.
Yes.
There's got to be
Brees
Ricky.
Hall?
Slick Rick. Oh my god, it's
Oh.
got to be
Oh yeah,
Zacchaeus
Zacchaeus.
Waller.
Oof.
Waller.
It's got
Yeah,
to be Waller.
probably.
He had a couple. Yeah, he had a
Not
couple
by
like
much.
deep
Just
plays.
Gesicki.
Yeah,
Oh,
Trevion.
Gesicki. Receiving yards?
I'm going. My bet's on Trevion.
I think it
I'm
is
going
Chevion.
Gesicki.
Oh my god.
Oh my
I
god.
told
Why'd you
I
listen to
need to
me,
stop
man?
listening to you.
Why'd
I
you
told
listen
you.
to me?
All right, for
I was
real,
thinking,
last
like,
one.
Travion
I was
Henderson
thinking,
having over 307 is crazy.
I was
No,
thinking that's all he really does is catch balls, man. That's what I was
no,
thinking.
Henderson didn't have more than 307.
No,
There's
that's
a
what I'm
list.
saying.
Oh.
Like the fact that you guys guessed that is crazy.
All right, last one. For real. All right.
To be fair, I'm not the one clicking.
Single season. Kirk or Caleb? It's got to be Kirk. Captain.
Kirk.
Got to be Kirk.
Yeah, I mean,
In a
49.
way, Brock Purdy hitting almost 5,000.
Cam.
Deshaun. It's
Ooh.
Deshaun.
Josh.
I don't know if has he hit
4,800? I don't know about that.
I think it's Deshaun.
Deshaun.
And that's
Why would
gonna
you
do
vote
it.
for Deshaun, dude?
That's
With
gonna
all the
do it.
allegations he's faced.
That's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this episode of Unsolicited Takes. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, listen to us on Spotify. We are on TikTok now. Anything you boys would like to say?
We are better at trivia than this. This is our first ever time playing this website or this format. That's all I want to say.
He's lying, by the way.
No, I'm not lying. I've never played this. If y'all have played this, then it's on you.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And thanks for checking out the Twitter and everything. And if you are watching the podcast or listening in, we appreciate it.
Make sure you leave a like, comment down below what you guys think of our 2026 Coach Power Rankings. Let us know what you guys want to see. But we will see you on the next episode. Peace out.
Peace.
Later.